Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 4 Downs with FCF, episode 5. All right, let's jump right in. It is a case of good news, bad news with the San Francisco 49ers, man. Look, this is a team that has not been able to make it through this season unscathed, and we're only in week 4, okay? The latest out of San Fran is that star defensive player Nick Bosa is now out for the season. Let's not forget to mention, somehow, some way, with all these injuries, this team has managed to stay undefeated.
That's even more amazing. With all the injuries, they're still sitting there at 3-0. Yeah, they've won games, really close, but still they're winning games, and that's all that matters, right? But losing Nick Bosa, I mean, this guy, 5-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago, 64 and a half career sacks, and you're losing that for the season? Woo! Man, that's going to be tough. You can't replace Nick Bosa, right? He's one of those guys that you just can't replace. Quarterback, okay, they got away with it, but man, that's going to be a tough one. His schedule is going to get a little bit tougher, or it is getting tougher, starting with this week with the Jaguars. But after that, you got the Rams, you got the Bucks back to back after this. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to stay undefeated too much longer, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems to be the season of Cinderella stories, and we'll touch a little bit more on that one. So that was the bad news. We got the bad news out of the way. Let's head up to some good news here. So according to this article on ASUSA, David Nelson reports that the 49ers finally got some good news about Brock Purdy. The quarterback is still struggling with the toe injury he picked up in week 1. He missed the week 2 game against the New Orleans Saints, and backup quarterback Mac Jones was under center against the Cardinals in week 3. Now, it looks like from the rest of the article here that at the very least, if he doesn't end up making this Sunday's game, or starting this Sunday's game, should I say, that he could possibly be backing up Mac. I mean, again, for a team that has been injury-ridden, is this the best case scenario? Or do you go, hey, look, Mac got us the win, calm down for another week, you'll be okay, we're undefeated. I don't think a loss here really hurts San Fran's chances at all. If it were me, Chris, I'm leaving Mac in for one more game.
No, you might be right. Yeah, one loss is not going to be that big of a deal. But listen, if Purdy is ready to go, yeah, I'm putting him in.
Sure.
If he's borderline, yeah, maybe not. But if he's ready to go, if he's suiting up, if he's literally putting on pads and suiting up and at least being the backup, that means that you may as well make him the starter at this point, right? Because
absolutely,
God forbid if Mac Jones gets hurt, or if he's that bad the first half, they're going to take him out anyway. So I wouldn't risk it, because Jacksonville has been playing good too, right? They're another team that's kind of surprising us a little bit. They're 2-1, so I wouldn't take any chances. If the guy's healthy enough to play and to suit up, I want my guy out there.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess it's decision time for the San Francisco 49ers. We'll find out this Sunday whether Brock Purdy goes in or Mac Jones takes the helm. Good luck. Speedy recovery to you, Brock. San Fran needs you. All right, Chris, second down. Here we go. Let's talk about the real Cinderella story out of this league. The 3-0 undefeated Indianapolis Colts. I mean, this team, right? Nobody, you can't tell me, because I wouldn't believe you anyway. Nobody thought that this team would be 3-0. We've said it a million times. All the crap that Daniel Jones caught before the start of the season for getting the job over Anthony Richardson. But let's not forget, too, that this is a team that hasn't had to punt the ball yet. They haven't had to punt.
Once.
Excuse me. They've had to punt one time. One time.
In 3 weeks.
I mean, look, I'm a believer that their first real test is coming up this weekend against the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Cinderella story stops here. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I'm with you, because you know what? They've had a pretty easy schedule. They played the Dolphins, right? The Dolphins are not impressive whatsoever. They look really bad. Week 2, right, they did beat the Broncos, but that game should have ended on a game-winning field goal by the Colts.
Hold. And the kick is no good. Denver's gonna win. Denver's gonna win.
Oh, is there a penalty down in the middle of the field? Right by the center.
Oh my goodness.
That game shouldn't have been a win for the Colts. And then last week they beat the Titans. Again, no big deal. So, but anyway, listen, 3-0 is 3-0. So good for them. You know, and everybody's going crazy. Daniel Jones, yeah, he's having a great first 3 games. He's passed for 816 yards in 3 games. No picks yet, 3 touchdowns. So he's having a really good season. But the guy who I just want to mention quickly about the Colts is Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's getting enough credit or enough attention in these first 3 games because what he's done, he's leading the league in carries, yards, and yards per game right now. He scored 3 touchdowns. He's got 338 yards, which leads the league. And he's also leading the league yards from scrimmage at 431. So he's having a great season. He's the guy that's really probably carrying this team a little bit more than Daniel Jones. He's taking probably a lot of pressure off Daniel Jones. Yeah, so I think they got a little bit of a mixed schedule, but yeah, this 3-0, I think it ends this week for sure against the Rams because we've seen the Rams last week almost beating the Super Bowl champs.
Right.
And they lost on a blocked field goal at the end of the game.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again! This time Jordan Davis, the big man, looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on!
So, but yeah, I agree. It's a great story, and it's still going to be a great story at 3-1. I don't think any of us had them at 3-1 either. So
let me ask the question here, Chris. And everybody who knows me knows that I'm good for a crazy take or two. So my question is, if Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts somehow manage to go 4-0 to start the season, they get the win on the Los Angeles Rams, do we put his name into early MVP contention?
Absolutely, right? If a quarterback the quarterback's always going to get more attention. But like I said, I think it's more Taylor than Daniel Jones. But yeah, I would think so. And just pointing out, like I said earlier, after the Rams, they got the Raiders and the Cardinals the next 2 games after that. So if they could win, if they could beat the Rams, they're probably going to go 6-0.
Ooh.
Which is crazy. Right?
Insane. Okay, let's move on here. 3rd down. We got some big stories. Big time trouble in Charm City with the Baltimore Ravens. Look, I don't know which is worse at this point. The offense, the defense, the coaching, or the comments being made by some of these Ravens players. Look, I don't think I have ever seen a team more dejected in my life. And yeah, you want your players to be real. You don't want them to go up there and phone it in. You want them to show some heart. You want them to show some fire, especially after a loss, right? You got to bounce back from it. But here's what you don't do. Kyle Hamilton, we're looking at you, buddy. You do not insult your fan base. That is rule number 1. Kyle apparently took it upon himself to make some pretty harsh comments about Ravens fans.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes Ravens fans can be a little spoiled, just like the amount of success that this franchise has had. We lose 5 games and the world's about to end.
Here's the thing. I understand it to a certain degree, but when you sit there and you call fans of a team who has high expectations year after year, because this is what we have gotten accustomed to, I don't think it's spoiled. I think it's, we expect you guys to win these games. I mean, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot now. Like, the amount of backlash that I am seeing online is insane, which leads me to wonder, how do you think that Kyle Hamilton gets received at the next Ravens home game, Chris?
Oof. Oh, I don't know. You would know better than me. Man, after saying that, he might get booed because, and if you look at, okay, it's only 3 games.
Sure.
But in the 2 games that they've lost, right? They're 1-2. In the 2 games that they've lost, the defense has given up 79 points.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think anybody on that defense should be saying a word.
And in the last game alone, the defense gave up 20 missed tackles.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Not here.
No. And I'm telling you, and the defensive player No player should say that about the fans, first of all.
Right.
Second of all, a player on a unit that's not exactly playing up to their potential should not be saying it, right? So that's the other thing. I mean, listen, in those 2 games, if you want to blame anybody, first and foremost, yeah, I'm blaming the defense, because the offense, you could say they've done their job, even with the fumbles by Derrick Henry in the first 3 games. We could talk about that too. But listen, they scored 40 against Buffalo, and they scored 30 against the Lions.
Right.
Usually when you score 70 points in 2 games, that's a pretty good chance that you're going to win both of those games, right? Usually you're averaging 35 points a game. But unfortunately, your defense is giving up a little bit more. So, yeah, I think it's exactly what you said. Expectations. This team has had expectations now for a few years now, and they are usually stopped in the playoffs. They have a great regular season. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, could have won a 3rd last year easily, and they are always stopped in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm a fan of that team. You know, I'm a fan of the Yankees. So yeah, I got high expectations. That's why when we lose in the playoffs, yeah, we're not happy just making the playoffs. You know, we're not just a regular team. We're a team when you get high expectations like that, where you're going to win championships and you don't, yeah, making the playoffs ain't good enough. You're right. It's not. And that's why, yeah, we're not happy. Ravens fans, we're not happy. I get it. So I understand that. So I think Kyle Hamilton made a mistake by saying that. No player should say that about his own fans. So
absolutely. And then, of course, you got the offensive side of the ball. As you said, yeah, this team has been decent on offense. Like you said, putting up 40 points against the Bills, then 41 points against the Browns. Yeah, it's the Browns, but still 41 points against the Browns, and then 30 points against Detroit. I don't know what more you want this offense to do. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. I want them to run some ball handling drills with Derrick Henry. Eric, please, my brother. Now, here's the question, Chris. We talked about it, and we talked about it at length. The reason why we talked about it at length is because we can't believe it's about to come out of our mouths, but it is. Chris, this next game, yet again, another Super Bowl contender against the Kansas City Chiefs. Derrick Henry has fumbled in 3 games. If he fumbles against the Kansas City Chiefs, do you consider benching Derrick Henry in week 5?
I don't know. Is that the guy you want to bench? That's the problem, because he's so important to the team, right? And this is a guy that is not really known for fumbling. If he's already fumbled as many times as he did all of last year, right? Last year he fumbled 3 times. The year before he didn't fumble at all, right? So I don't know if he's the guy you want to mess with in that way. You know, next week you got the Texans, who defensively, yeah, they're really good. Offensively, they got their issues, but then you got the Rams the following week, which we know is a very good defense. And then you got the bye week. Thankfully, though, after the KC game, you got 3 home games and a bye week. So you're going to be home for a month, the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think this is where you got to start taking care of business, right?
Right.
Either way, win or lose, this is win or lose this week, these next 4 weeks being at home, 3 weeks playing and 1 week on the bye week, got to take care of business, right? You got to win those games, get back in this, the divisional race and all that, because it's 1-2. It's not the end of the world. You know what? They could bounce back, and they definitely will. There's just too much talent there. And I think the defense will get better. I can't see them giving up 30-ish points a game and then getting back to Derrick Henry. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. They're either going to do one of 2 things, obviously. They're either going to bench him or keep giving him the ball and just hope that he's like, all right, I'm Derrick Henry. I'm going to hold on to the ball now. You right? And he's going to realize that. And I think that's what a lot of teams do with their star running back. He is what he is. And without him, I mean, they're still good. But when you take away a Derrick Henry off your offense, man, that's a tough guy to replace. So it's a balancing act on how to treat the situation.
Right.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that point. Hope he's fine this week and no fumbles, and we're not even thinking about it. And it's like, oh yeah, he had a couple of bad weeks and that's it. So
right.
I don't think they will, but it's possible. It's out there for sure.
The reason why I ask is because, again, yes, you're right. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. And I've heard it all over, everywhere from Stephen A. Smith.
Derrick Henry, listen, it's not good that he's fumbled these first 3 games, but let's face reality. We really believe that's going to continue to happen. This is King Henry.
No.
Yeah. This is King Henry we're talking about here.
To, guys like Chris and I. Yes, Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. But, and again, this is the thing about Ravens fans. I'm already seeing Ravens fans go, bring in Keaton Mitchell. Bring back Keaton Mitchell. Free Keaton Mitchell. Let him have the ball. I mean, look, this is a guy, again, who worked his ass off to get back and rejoin the team after a season-ending ACL tear in 2024. This kid came out of nowhere. He was super explosive. He showed that not only did he have great running back potential, he had great return potential. I mean, this is a guy that you're keeping in your back pocket this season who's ready to be let out. He said he couldn't wait to rejoin the team. He looked great in the preseason. You got to use your weapons. It's like I said, yeah, I'm sure it's a tough position to be in, but when you're down 1-2 facing these kind of opponents, sometimes you got to make the tough decisions. And as us Ravens fans know, that ain't Harbaugh's specialty. So this game's going to be very, very interesting. I can say that much. Chris, let's wrap it up. 4th down, buddy. As we've been saying, who better to talk about last year than the Kansas City Chiefs? Both teams here going into this game 1-2. You don't usually see 2 teams that are always talked about for Super Bowl contention starting off with these kind of records. Now, the narrative that I keep hearing going around for people who want to be on the positivity train is relax. They've been here before. They can bounce back. Kansas City has not been here before, or at least they haven't been here since 2014, especially not under Coach Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Chris, if the Chiefs fall to 1-3 after facing a beat up and dejected Baltimore Ravens team, what do you think the locker room becomes in Kansas City?
I think slowly the doubt will start to enter, like, wow, you know what? They're going to start thinking what we're thinking. Like, is this the end of the KC run? Yeah, we had a great season last year. We get to the Super Bowl. Then, Philly spanks us in the Super Bowl.
True.
And now with this start, right, 1-3, if they lose this week, that's going to be tough. At home, no less. And then when you look at the rest of the schedule, then you're talking about going to Jacksonville the following week. Then you got the Lions, the Raiders, and Washington all at home. And then you play Buffalo in Buffalo right before your bye week. So that's a tough run of games, right? And then in the second half, you got to play the Broncos twice because you haven't faced them yet. You still got the Chargers again, who you lost to already. Man, there's a lot of tough games that they got to face. After the bye week is not as tough. Those are the 3 really tough games that they got in the second half. But, man, they got to straighten it out. Like, just saying, with Baltimore, they have to win. This is great because both teams are desperate to win, to get back to 500, to kind of say, okay, we're back to 500. It's almost like you reset. If you lose this week, man, doubt starts to trickle in because then it's like, and if the Chargers win this week, now you're talking, now I'm 3 games back of the Chargers. I got to make up 3 games now. If they win, it's like, all right, we only got to make up 2 games. We face them 2 more times, 1 more time. So we could catch them, that's going to be the mentality. After this, it's, I don't know. I think whatever the coaches are saying is starting to go like, yeah, it ain't working, pal. Like whatever you're saying, whatever we're doing ain't working. We need change now. Then the doubt starts to come in and, Kelsey's old now. He's looking old out there.
He's looking old, yeah.
Right, he's dropping, easy throws that he would easily catch for a touchdown.
It's Mahomes over the middle. Kelsey. Oh, it's picked off. It's Makuba who's got it. And room to run. 1 man to beat. Oh. And he's taken out. Andrew Makuba.
Is he thinking ahead to what he's got coming, after football ends? Is he already thinking that? So, yeah, this is big. Both teams. It's going to be a great game to watch because you got both teams playing really desperate and needing wins. So we shall see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if you guys have followed the show, you guys know that I made the prediction this year the Kansas City Chiefs don't make the playoffs. And the way they're headed right now, I'd love nothing more for them to prove me right. I'm gonna tell you guys, look, you know, like Chris was saying, the thing that stands out to me the most is something is off with the Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce connection. Something ain't right here. This guy has been Patrick Mahomes' bread and butter since he joined the team. To watch Travis Kelce drop balls that are short passes, that are passes that hit him right in the hands, and then to watch Travis Kelce get into it not once but twice with Andy Reid already over on the sideline. I wonder how much Andy Reid is going to be willing to take. Like, look, you want to act like a champion, then be a champion. Don't act like a crybaby. You're either one C word or another C word, champion or crybaby. Pick one, Kelce.
Right. And they should know better. They
should know better.
Right? I mean, you talk about champions. They've been champions forever, right? So this is a team that knows better. Like, they've been there, done that. But have they been in this situation, right? Being 1-2 or being 1-3 and looking up at a team that, like, damn, they're 3 games already. We're already 3 games below, you know, who we got to catch for our division. So, man, it's going to be big. If they lose, it's going to be big.
All right, Chris. Well, that has been another episode of 4 Downs with Flight Club, man. A lot of questions to be answered in week 4. How does San Fran respond, man? Nick Bosa out for the season. Brock Purdy potentially coming back this weekend. Can a team that has been absolutely riddled with injuries keep their Cinderella story going? Can the San Francisco 49ers end up 4-0? Danny Dimes, can he lead his team in his first real test against an actual team with a winning record in the Los Angeles Rams? All eyes are on you, Danny. Make it happen. In Baltimore, can Derrick Henry get it together? It's week 4. It is a Super Bowl contending championship team that you're facing this weekend. A team that has given you guys trouble. A team that just has been an absolute roadblock for the Ravens. Is this the game? Is this the statement that the Ravens can finally get it together? Or does magic happen in Arrowhead and Patrick Mahomes do what Patrick Mahomes does and get his team back on track? We'll find out. All right, guys. So make sure you watch us live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube at Flight Club Football. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Flight Club Football. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, as it lets YouTube know that you like the video and you want to see more of what you like. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you do, hit that bell, turn on all post notifications so that you never miss anything that Flight Club does. Now, get out there and remember rule 1.
Talk about Flight Club.
Talk about Flight Club.
Talk about
it. For Flight Club Football, I am TBK, the Baltimore Kid. That's Chris. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.